Well, United Nations meeting right now to do what they do best. Absolutely nothing. Because they've got no teeth. I think it's now time for sensible nations to cut their ties with Benjamin Netanyahu. I only mention him specifically because I think he's the main problem in Israel. I think if he was replaced by another leader, I think it'd be a lot better. But he quite obviously wants the whole Middle East to be part of Israel in time. And he's not that bothered about going to war, is he, with Iran? Because he thinks that his mate Donald is going to bankroll him and also send reinforcements when he needs it. Or even take an active role in the actual war. And who's to say that that won't happen? And who's to say that this was a plan all along? This is what they always wanted, the global powerful elites. They just needed the right excuse. This is why you can't trust them in the last days. There's too many liars out there. Look at how they dealt with COVID-19. Look how many people were lying over that. Anthony Fauci and others. So why are they not lying now to you? Why is this not some kind of big con that they're selling us at the moment? What was Iran supposed to do? They were attacked, and now they're carrying out attacks in Tel Aviv. I think that's what you would do, isn't it? If someone came to your house in the middle of the night and tried to burn your house down, you would want to get revenge. Well, it's a similar thing to that, isn't it? They want to get revenge. But where's it going to go? How many countries will get involved with this? Right, all we know about the composite sign of the last days is that man starts the final war, the war to end all wars that eventually leads to Armageddon. So he starts this huge confrontation, and then we go into the Great Tribulation, and it's partway through, or halfway through the tribulation, and perhaps halfway through the confrontation, that God cuts short the days. So I'm expecting that the four horsemen of the apocalypse will all be on the scene at the same time. That's war, famine, pestilence, and death. And then the rider of the white horse, he decides, that's it. It's time. It's time for me to conquer the other three horsemen that are behind me. I need to put an end to war. I need to stop famine of the world. And I need to stop all diseases. And for me, I feel as if we are in that time now. Never has it been more obvious to a theologian than now is the time that perhaps God's patience is running thin. But I do expect that we will go into some worldwide confrontation, and Israel and the NATO forces and also the Russian and Chinese armies will all be involved. And I call this man's hostile fighting nations, or Gog and Magog. That's the biblical term for it. And they will lock horns and they will go too far. And at the point where they go too far, that's when they're dragged, all of them, they're all dragged against their will to their destruction. Scriptures say that they're dragged to a place that is in Hebrew called Armageddon, Megiddo. There is a place on Route 66 in Israel called Megiddo, which just happens to be of historical significance because that's where a lot of decisive battles were fought during the biblical times, during 2,000 years ago. Very decisive battles were fought in Megiddo. So I think that the Bible uses that local phrase to identify that the battle that's coming will be a very one-sided battle. And that's simply because man's fighting in hostile nations will not be able to fight an invisible, angelic fighting force. God's Messianic kingdom is coming, people. And you should welcome it, because it's going to put an end to all these wars. Yes, learn war no more. That's what we were told. Unfortunately, we simply did not listen. And so we have to be taught a lesson of the heavenly kind. And I welcome it. But how many will die at Armageddon? Well, you know that scripture talks about the blood up to the bridle horses. Lots of people will die. But very few will live, because the road to life is narrow, but the road to destruction is broad and spacious, and everybody is virtually on that road now. I'd like to meet someone that's on the road to life who can prove to me that they're on that road. Maybe I would have a very good, intelligent conversation with that person. I wouldn't ridicule him, not if he put together a structured argument of why he believes he's on the road to life. But I don't believe I'm on the road to life. What about you guys? Do you think you are? Time will tell.